Welcome to the Pantheon, the Commander Top 5 show where we look at a certain commander and decide what the top 5 cards for that commander are. Today we're going to be looking at the back half of one of the new Strixhaven legendary creatures. I think it's important to look at them as separate cards as they're never going to be in play together. You can't play them as if they're partners. So without further ado, let's have a look at Augusta, the Dean of Order. 3 mana, Augusta, very, very posh name. Sounds incredibly British. I quite appreciate that. The text box reads, other tapped creatures you control get +1%. Other untapped creatures you control get +0/+1. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. And finally, she's sitting in at a 1/3, which who really cares, because this sort of card is really an enchantment for our commander deck. And that's all it's going to be. We're going to be really focusing on the last ability, the ability to tap and untap our creatures. So without further ado, let's get in. And in at number 5, we've got Zurder, Tulvidi Caravana. A 3 mana 2/3 with haste, and the important part, 0, another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. She also has the ability to pay 2 and tap it, discard your hand, turn to turn, whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, I think this card's very important because we need to be attacking with our creatures. That's what triggers the last ability of our commander. So, we need to be able to get in undamaged. Using Zurder's ability, the 1 for another target creature with power 2 or less, either Zurder can get in herself, she can't make herself unblockable, but she can make our commander or any of our other smaller creatures. To go along with this, we've got a couple of other things. Spirit Endal is a 3 mana 2/1 with Shadow, which means that it can only be blocked or block creatures with Shadow. And it has Forecast for 2, reveal it from your hand, target creature gains Shadow until end of turn. You can only play this ability during your upkeep. There's also Whisper Silk Cloak, 3 mana artifact equipment, quick creature, can't be blocked and has Shroud. Equipment's very good in Boros, as there's a lot of way to tutor them up, so this could be a key player. And it can protect our commander, as we don't want her dying. Key to the City is 2 mana, you can tap it, discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever it becomes untapped, you can pay 2. If you do, draw a card. So, nice bit of card advantage built in. Boros is really asking for that. Which brings us on to number 4. In number 4, we've got Order of Whiteclay, a 3 mana 1/4 with the untap ability. Absolutely love this ability. I wish they'd print it on more cards, but I think it's confusing for newer players. 3 mana and untap it, return a target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to play. So, when we attack with a creature and our commander's on the field, we can tap of all of our creatures. So, we can get Order of Whiteclay tapped, so we can untap it. Absolutely fantastic. It really allows us to get in there. We don't have to attack with the Order of Whiteclay, which is the main downside to the untap ability. How are you going to tap your creatures? To go along with it, we've got a couple of other things. Umbral Mantle is a fantastic equipment. Again, we can search it up with a couple of things in Boros. The quick creature has pay 3 and untap it. This creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. 0 to equip. Then we've got another couple of classic untapped creatures. Duraga Mine Captain, 3 mana for a 2/1. Pay 2, untap it. Attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. So it works really well with our commander's buff abilities and also the fact that we can do this without having to attack with this itself. Then we've got a big massive Hate Flare that's a 7 mana 5/5 with Wither, which means it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. It's like Poison Light. Then it has 3 and untap it. Hate Flare deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So, if we have Umbral Mantle and pump it up to be quite big, he can then ping our opponents over and over again. Really cool. To go along with this, there's a couple of different ways that we can tap our creatures. And the best one is Crew. Cultivator's Caravan is a 3 mana artifact vehicle. Can tap for any colour of mana, so nice bit of ramp. And then it's a 5/5 if we crew 3. Really cool. Get in there for some damage. Smuggler's Copter, 2 mana 3/3. Flying, when it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And crew is what? Crew 1. So even our commander can crew this. Brilliant. Then collective effort, 3 mana, escalate, tap an untapped creature you control. So a good way to get our untapped creatures tapped. Choose 1 or more for however many times you've escalated it. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Destroy target enchantment. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature target player controls. All 3 great effects. Which brings us on to number 3. Mikaeus the Lunac. Now, this is not quite as good as the black version of Mikaeus, but he has some interesting implications, as he has 2 different tap abilities. So, using our commander, before combat, we can tap him to put a 1/1 counter on all of our dudes. Then, using it in the middle of combat, we untap everything, so we untap Mikaeus, and then we can do it again. So, potentially, we could pile counters onto the rest of our creatures. He also has another ability to remove a 1/1 counter. No, he also has the ability to put a 1/1 counter on him. Sorry about that. I always find it weird that he's a white human Hydra. I don't quite understand the lore behind that, but he's a really cool card. To go along with this, we've got a couple of other good things that can allow us to tap. Endbringer is a fantastic Eldrazi. Playing colourless mana in a 2-colour deck is not that hard. A lot of your mana rocks could potentially be ones that tap for colours. So you could play Mind Stone, things like that. And he untaps during each other player's untap step. And you can tap him to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Pay a colours, target creature can't be blocked this turn or attack. Or pay 2 colours, tap him to draw a card. So potentially if you have an absolute ton of colourless mana, you can be drawing loads of cards. Intrepid Hero is fantastic in any sort of tap deck. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater on a 3 mana 1/1. So he's not going to be getting in there, but by God, he can kill some dudes. Then Honor Worn Shaku is a 3 mana artifact that taps for a colourless, so Endbringer. Synergy. But you can tap an untapped legendary permanent you control to untap Honor Worn Shaku. So potentially, we could tap our commander to generate another mana. Very cool. Brings us on to number 2 and the real basis of this deck. So I looked through Magic and looked for everything that taps and untaps. There aren't too many untapped creatures, but there's a whole legion of creatures that tap that are rebels. And Lin Civi Defiant Hero is the best one. 3 mana for a 1/3, just like our commander. Pay X and tap her. Search your library for a rebel card with converted mana cost X or less, and put that card onto the play. Then shuffle your library. Or you can pay 3, put target rebel card from your graveyard to the bottom of your library. So she can bring back anything that you've maybe got killed, and just keep chaining your way through them. To go along with it, we've got a whole rebel package. There's Renosian Sergeant? Remosian? I don't know. It's a 1/2 that has taps 3 and taps. Search your library for a rebel card with converted mana cost 2 or less and put that card into play. Shuffle your library. Then Defiant Falcon, 2 mana for a 1/1. Flying, 4 mana, tap, search your library for a rebel card with converted mana cost 3 or less. Put that card into play, then shuffle your library. 3 mana gets us Defiant Vanguard when he's blocked. Whenever Vanguard blocks, at the end of combat, destroy it and all creatures it blocked. Pay 5 and tap it. Search your library for a rebel card with converted mana cost 4 or less. You get the idea. They just want to search up other, rebels. And the best rebel to go into the deck is Mirror Entity, which is a 3 mana 1/1 changeling, so means he is a rebel. And you can pay X until end of turn, creatures you control with base power and toughness XX, and gain all creature types. Absolutely game-winning play. You search this up when you've got a big board, pump all your mana to it, your opponent's dying. There are also a couple of other rebels here. Amaru Scout, 2 mana, 4, pay 4, tap it, search for a 3. Remosian Vitalist is probably one of the better ones, as it's 4 mana for a 2/2. You do have to pay 6 to return target rebel permanent from convert mana cost 5 or less from your graveyard to play. So a nice bit of reanimation. But as you can see, all of these effects, 6 mana to, reanimate something, it all costs a bit much, which is where our number 1 card comes in. It's Zurder the Dawnwaker. We are playing a Boros deck here, so we're allowed to have this as our companion. And if you go back and look at it, every one of these cards has an activated ability, including our commander on the other side of it. So we can actually play Zurder as our companion. So what does Zurder do? Abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana cost for the below 1. And then he has the ability tap and pay 1. Target creature can't block this turn. He's a 3/3. Very, very cool. And companion, the new ruling is that you have to pay 3 to put it into your hand from your exile zone, and then you play him for whatever the mana cost is. But he really reduces the cost of all of our, abilities. So every time we tap something, it's going to cost us a lot less, which makes us a lot more efficient. Absolutely great. To go along with him, we've got a couple of combos. Basalt Monolith is a 3 mana artifact. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Tap it for 3 mana. Pay 3, untap Basalt Monolith. So with Zurder on the field, it reduces the pay 3 to untap it to 1. So you tap it for 3 mana, pay 1 to untap it. So you've got 2 left. Then tap it, you've got 5. Keep going and keep going. By God, we've got a colossal amount of mana. Exactly the same as for Grim Monolith, but Grim Monolith is incredibly expensive, so I don't own one. Maybe you'd like to spend the 40, 50, God knows how much it's up to now. Don't get a foil one. Ridiculous. But Grim Monolith has the exact same text, except it's pay 4 to untap it, which makes it into 2. So you tap for 3, pay 2, blah, 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 onwards and onwards. Then Staff of Domination is a 3 mana artifact that has a whole lot of different text. Pay 1 to untap it, pay 2, tap it, gain a life, pay 3, tap it, untap target creature, pay 4, tap it, tap target creature, pay 5, tap it, draw a card. So if you have infinite mana, you can draw your entire deck. And with Zurder on the field, every one of those abilities, except for the first 2, are reduced. No, the top 1, because the gain 1 life is then 1 mana, because you can't reduce it less than 1. Very, very cool. And that is my top 5 cards for this commander. It's a really cool commander, and I just think it's fun. And it's a lot better than the other half. So if I was going to build this commander, I'd base it on this half. If you want to watch my other one, it was a couple of days ago, and you can find a link below. Thank you very much for watching. Bye. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. I like it, and it makes me very, very happy. I smile, and I laugh, and other things happen. It's great. But if you don't want to, I understand.